Hello again, X-Saber community. Here's Ippy again, and today I want to talk a little bit about game plans revolving the X-Saber cards, and also about combos and stuff. I actually have no idea how long this video will be. Maybe I'll need to split it up in like two parts, but yeah, for the I actually have no clue how long this will take. So yeah, I just jump right into it, and yeah, the script alone took me like 6 hours to write. So yeah, I hope that it'll be fine and not take too long. But yeah, we'll see. So first off, what is like the general game plan of X-Sabers? Like one of the main things X-Sabers want to achieve is to get the big boy out, X-Saber Faultroll, and like do stuff with him. There are like different things that you can achieve with Faultroll. For example, just hand loop combos. Just try to get more resources on field. Do like small combos with which you get like out synchro summons and stuff. Yeah, he's really good for that. And to bring out Faultroll, you somehow have to achieve one thing to get like two X-Sabers out on your field as quickly as possible. Most of the time you can achieve it by filling up your graveyard and going with like Gotham's Emergency Call, which can bring out two X-Sabers if you control one, or with like Rescue Cat, Summoner Monk, Fulham Knight. There are like different solutions and ways to get out your Faultroll really good. And yeah, for that you have to draw into Faultroll or search him with Gotham. These are like the only two options, so you have to be able to like draw into them for a time. So you need ways to prolong the game and to be able to stall out a little bit and control resources, which is also like a big point of X-Sabers, but I talk about that like in the next point. Yeah, so you have to somehow achieve it to draw into Faultroll and a combo. And if you've drawn into him because he's like so impactful for you, you really need to look out for the spell and trap lineup your opponent is playing with the deck they are at. Because if you, for example, run him into a bottomless trap hole, maybe you've got a decent combo in your hand, but now it's all gone because like your protagonist is gone. The other thing is if you go for Rescue Cat and then, for example, try to get out two Abellums and both Abellums get hit by a bottomless, that's like almost always GG. So yeah, you really have to be sure that your strong combos and your all-ins don't get interrupted by something else. You are most likely going to lose the game. So that's also something that you always have to look out. Like even if you get the combo, you have to secure your combo in some way. And yeah, you always have to calculate your opponent's hand traps in. So sometimes you could go for game, for example, but like I don't know, maybe like Gores or Track or just a Battle Fader will completely destroy your game plan. So many times I've just got Battle Fadered and then they summoned like Chaos, and then banished like my Faultroll, got my Gothams, run over with like Brain Control or something, run over two monster from me, so I have nothing on board anymore. Then they activate Gothams themselves, tribute my Gothams so that I also lose like one hand card. So I've like lost my whole board, I've lost like one hand card, my Faultroll is banished, and all of that just because one simple battle fader. So sometimes you don't want to go for game, for example, and instead just hand loop your opponent a little bit before you go into battle phase, then just do like, I don't know, like 5,000 damage or something like that, but get it out safely and get all of your resources away. So hand traps are actually really like battle hand traps are like sometimes problematic for X-Sabers. And another thing is like the time of your combo also has to be really important. You have to know, like, for example, when is just Rescue Cat into two Abellums strong enough for you to do something, or when is like just having an Faultroll and an Gothams as an end board okay enough. For example, if your opponent doesn't have many resources left or power spells and traps are already gone. so that you just can recycle back cards every turn and just let your opponent go minus even more every turn. And yeah, then like you have to know for which combo you want to go, like on which time frame. So you always have to get the situation right, and just depending on the situation go like for one of your combo routes. Because the cool thing with X-Sabers is in that regard they were kind of like modern deck. You have like so many different lines to go into with like many different setups, and if you know the setups and if you know the line, you can almost always get like the right play for the situation. But you always also have to not only know the lines and the cards that you need, but also like in which situation you are in and in which situation you want to use which combo and what like will most likely get the win for you. So that's something like reading the situation right is a specific skill that needs to be highly developed for X-Sabers, and the better you are at that and reading the situation, the better your X-Saber play will be. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about is like controlling resources, which is one of the most important parts of X-Sabers. If you know that, for example, you're waiting for a specific time to go into a combo, you have to know like how do you want to control the game. And X-Sabers are always good at controlling specifically resources. For example, Abellum can repeat hand cards, like Gotham's himself is like the hand rip machine. Like you have to know what you want to go for. Like your ways of controlling resources are, how I said, hand loops with Gotham's, hand loops with Abellum, just attacking with it. It can be either done like with a Rescue Cat, or just bringing one back with Fulham Knight or Faultroll and just always poking, keeping him alive somehow, or always reviving him if he gets destroyed and stuff like that. Yeah, so this can be like something that can also win you games by itself sometimes, but you need to play really well around him. Then there's also like Hyunlai, like the Synchro 6 monster that I've already shown you, which is also able to control resources from your opponent, because she can pop up to 3 spells and traps from your opponent, which is strong. Like this is also one of your biggest control devices. And elsewhere's like controlling monsters with Fulham Knight and Book. And if you've controlled a monster from your opponent, you can recycle your resources with Fulham. There are like also different ways to get resources in your game. If something maybe would be run over, for example, all of your battle recruiters, or Ragigura to just get something back and bring it back into the game, and that you are like in a good game state. For example, you've just drawn into Book of Moon, and when you play Ragigura to get like a fallen Fulham Knight back, and the next thing you can go for Fulham Knight book plays again and stuff like that. Like these are ways how you can control like your opponent's resources and your own resources, because how I already said, like spells and traps can be problematic, hand cards can be problematic, but if your opponent has like really strong a really strong field setup and can just overrun you in like 2 or 3 turns, you also have to control the field and not let your opponent get too much advantage while you wait to get your combo going. So yeah, you always have to fight with your opponent and like get them out of their resources like slowly and steadily, and the ways that I've told you right now is a way to do it, or like some ways to do it. Then the next one would be tempo control. You don't only have to control like the game state itself by resource management and stuff like that, but you also have to be able to control the tempo. And why do you want to control the tempo? First off, you need to wait long enough to draw into power cards, and if you go into the power cards, you have to switch the tempo up real quick, because that's like the biggest strong suit of X-Sabers. They can swarm the field really quick, they can do like crazy combos, and they feel like really unfair, because sometimes it feels like there's a modern deck going in Edison if everything just works out how it should be. I show you the combos, they are really crazy, but you need the setup. That's like the biggest obstacle for X-Sabers. So you need to have sometimes set up the graveyard, sometimes you need to have set up the board in a specific state, sometimes you want many cards in your hand. it all depends on the situations, but it's still like really important to control the tempo so that you can play slow or quick, deciding on what your opponent is playing. For example, if you're playing against rocks, you want to control the hand of your opponent with Abellums and early Gothams, because that's also a reason why you play too. Sometimes you want to control back row of your opponent and just play it slow by setting like your recruiters and stuff. Sometimes you want to crash into things so your cards get destroyed, so your graveyard gets filled up because you've maybe already got a Gotham's emergency call in your hand, when you need to protect the Gotham's emergency call with some cards. And if you can do that, you can win the game like with a big tempo swing in like your next turn. And yeah, and for that you need like your defensive cards, for example, Book, Level Limit, Mirror Force, Saber Hole, Enemy Controller, and all of that, because this is how, like, except of your better recruiters, how you're going to be able to survive turns that else could be like really bad for you. Like Book and Enemy Controller are not optimal for that, but they can lock your opponent in like really weird and bad spots. For example, if you already have a Fulham in hand, and when your opponent summons like Chaos and want to banish your back row, and your only back row is like Book, then that's cool because you just book their Chaos next turn, you run over it with Fulham and stuff like that. This is like kind of nice, I think. Other things that work really well in this regard is like, for example, however we call it, Gladys, try to run over your monster. Maybe you can just book it again so that they can't do it, and then just go for other plays again on your turn. Maybe you try to attack, because with X-Sabers you often need to attack our monsters, and maybe you try to attack our monster that wave in defense position, and that doesn't work because, for example, they have Wabuku and stuff, and you can't destroy it. Then you can at least still book it before you go into end of your battle phase, because then they at least don't get into advantage themselves, and you can negate their next attack with Fulham and stuff, and yeah, that can be really important. So yeah, you have to know that stuff, and else you could get run over. So your defensive cards are what keep you in the game if like your main game plan doesn't work, or if you need to protect your resources because you want to have a tempo swing in the next turn. And there are many things, if you play X-Sabers, to like keep in mind. Like one of the things is which power cards are already used by your opponent and which are like still in the deck. That's like one of the most important parts. You always have to check the graveyard and check what they are playing. Like, remember yourself, like, what are the lists that I've seen most commonly about specific cards. You need to have be like very informed about like what decks are normally playing, because else you can be a little bit of trouble. For example, if you play against Light Swan, you should know that they don't play that much back row, but that the Judgment Rain can always come, so check the graveyard for how many Light Swan names are in the graveyard, and then you need to know, okay, they've already got like three in the graveyards, maybe right now, because they only have 3 cards in their hand. If they get another one in graveyard, which is like very likely, I need to somehow get like hand cards out of their hand to just hit the Judgment. Yeah, you could just mill the last one, but normally we have no problem with getting Light Swans in their graveyard. Then the chance that they have a Judgment and just blow you out of it, it's like higher, so you just want to rip cards out of their hand with like Abellums, and then you need to go for all of the stuff. So that's also important to keep in mind which power cards are still in play and usable for your opponent, like Mirror Force and Torrential and something like that is like, yeah, easy. Or if you have already used like one bottomless, how high is the chance that there's like another bottomless? Maybe now I want to go into Rescue Cat plays and stuff like that. Yeah, keep all of this in mind, because then even if your opponent has like back row and hand cards, the chance that you run into specific back row or hand cards is like really low if you've seen that some of them have already been used. Like with every used bottomless, the chance that there's like one more bottomless sinks like really low. So yeah, keep that in mind. Another thing that you should keep in your head like is to have your own resources, always in your head, because sometimes if you want to go for like cat play, but you've forgotten that you've already gone through 2 Abellums by chance, maybe then going for cat is not the best solution, because then you can only go into Synchro 5 plays, and maybe you wanted to activate your Faultroll, and that won't be possible with that. Sometimes you forget like that your cat is already in graveyard, and now you commit with the board and maybe run into a mirror force because you know, oh, can still always come back, but your comeback potential is really really limited if you don't draw into emergency call or cat. And if you've already like milled with Raikou like 2 emergency calls and maybe used already your cat, then you don't want to commit too hard with your boards, only if you know that your combo goes through, for example, with a Cold Wave or something like that. Yeah, you always have to know like how are your top deck and brick ratios. Like X-Saber players can play like some bricks. Like a Bellum is not too bad in some situations. The same goes like for Garda Strike and Ragigura and stuff. They can be good in situations, but only situational. And when you don't want, you always want to have in your mind like, if I go for a play now and I've already gone through like 2 or 3 Emma's Blades and like both of my Fulham Knights are dead, what are like the dead cards that I could also get? And then you know like Rota could already be dead. I could just get Galahad, and Galahad doesn't help in my situation right now. Maybe like I don't want to draw a Bellum because he won't be enough, or Ragigura will just kill me because I have a big beat stick and I don't have that much life points left and stuff like that. You always have to keep that in mind to know when it's right to get aggressive, even if you would play into back row. Sometimes you just have to take a risk, because else the chances of drawing these bricks and just losing because of that is like too high. And then you always have to keep this in mind, what are like still good top decks, because you've already rescue catted and like your Bellums are gone, so you don't fear drawing him. So like your top decks will be better on average and stuff like that. And the other thing is you always have to have the comeback potential in your mind. If you didn't go for Rescue Cat or Summoner Monk yet, these are like big comeback potentials, and you always need to be like sure that there is still much stuff that you can do. For example, you've run through all Emma's Blades, all Fulham Knights, you run through like almost all of your Saber names, and all that's left are like a few like Sangan and other things that can get out Rescue Cat, like your Rats, and enough Arbellum and Raikou maybe, so even if you draw one, it's not the end of the line. Maybe sometimes in situations like that, you just want to go for big plays, like get all of your board gone, get all of the hand cards of your opponent gone, and maybe just leave him with like a small monster, and then you set like one card that could protect you for like 1 or 2 turns or something like that, and then you just wait to draw into cat, like because the chance is pretty high to draw into a way to get cat, and then you just pop off because you know that you can make a comeback, or you know that your graveyard is already filled up and like there's the potential to go into Gotham's emergency call, or still have like one monster that you can't use right now, like a Faultroll, and you know that 1/1 is still in your deck somewhere, and or you've already got 1/1 drawn and you still know like how many monsters you've left in your deck. Like there are so many ways to get comebacks, but you have to know like what your deck is looking like right now. So this is like really really important with this deck, and a skill that you should really work on if you are trying to play this deck to its most optimal level. I mean, that's important for every deck, but because this deck has like so specific ratios sometimes, the strength of like what is left of your deck can vary so much. Like if you have only a Bellums left, it's like really lower than if you have like your cat and enough Bellums and your Raikou left and ways to find your cat. So know what's left in your deck, how much comeback potential you have, and then regarding to that you just go for specific plays. And you also have to know like your matchups. Like everything that I've explained right now and most of it, the tempo of your game, is in regards to like the matchups that you are in. Like X-Saber can play with like a standard list many different styles. You can just go for like defensive recruiter plays. You can offensively crush your recruiters into something. You can go like for offensive turbo-esque like synchro plays with Cat and stuff. Sometimes you want to play slow and don't go for Cat immediately because in some matchups you feel like royal oppression and stuff. All of that is really, really dependent on matchups. So like X-Sabers can feel from one matchup to another like completely different, like a different deck, and the side deck can have even bigger impact on that. So sighting patterns are really, really important with your X-Sabers. I've got like so much better just learning good sighting patterns and really, really thinking about which side deck cards I want to use in which matchups and stuff like that, learning matchups more, and this is really, really important for X-Sabers. And how I said, like the deck feels completely different depending on which matchup you're playing. And yeah, but for all of matchups and stuff like that and sighting patterns, I would make like an extra video because I've already, I don't know how long I've already talked, like, yeah, like 20 minutes already, and I've just talked about what is like the general game plan of this deck. Yeah, so talking about every matchup right now would take like 3 or 4 hours, I think, if I to finish this video. So yeah, I just leave that out with all of the matchups and just say like they are all very different, and you have to play every matchup really, really different. And yeah, okay. So next up, I've constructed here something. Maybe you were already thinking like what I have here, like the last 20 minutes. I've already pointed to a few cards like on specific occasions already. What I have here are like all of the combo cards, so that you just know which cards of X-Saber mean what. Like these cards you want to almost always have like in some capacity on your hand. So first off, these are like the combo cards themselves. Faultroll, how I already said, is like your best monster in the deck if he is able to resolve. And the other cards that are really, really strong in this deck are Rescue Cat and Summoner Wong. Important is you never want to see these two together, because after you've drawn both of them, like Summoner Wong is just dead and does nothing, because, okay, not nothing, you can still get Garsam and Galahad, but that's not as strong as getting Rescue Cat. So yeah, you most of the time want to have Rescue Cat in hand because it's like the best way to enable X-Sabers. It fills up your graveyard with 2 Abellums, which you can get out with either Faultroll or Emergency Call and stuff like that. And yeah, but these are like the most important cards for combos. Like Emergency Call is also important, but Emergency Call has so many other occasions where it is good. It's good for making like easy comebacks. It's also good for controlling like the battle phase of your opponent. It's good to like just poke your opponent unexpectedly for big damage while they are not thinking about that. And it has like so many occasional things that it can do that I thought just including it as a combo card would be kind of unfaithful to it. So, and the next thing is 1-for-1. That's also a way to get out like a second X-Saber on the field. Sometimes you just need the second X-Saber, but what really, really makes this card cool is that after you've done like a basic combo with Faultroll, you can just activate 1-for-1 to get Faultroll back to hand, and then you have like another summon of Faultroll, which is like another special summon out of your graveyard, which is like 1-for-1 makes like 3 X-Sabers on your field in that situation, which is just like at least 3 more hand rips, or like just a much, much better board state, and like even different lines that you can go into. So 1-for-1 is a power card that's really worth its money, but I've already explained that it's more bricky. Yeah, like these are all the combo cards, and like these are just the cards that protect your combo, that I've also listed like in the combo section. These are important because I've already told you back row is a problem, so we at least need like these 3. Like Book of Moon can also like protect your combos, like kind of, or like your monster, if your like your biggest plan right now is just to get 2 X-Sabers on the field, and you try to attack with Fulham Knight, for example, and when he would be banished by prison, you can still book them or econ him and stuff like that. Like sometimes it can help, but it doesn't protect like your big plays. It can protect Faultroll kinda, but yeah, when he's still face down, you won't be able to synchro into Gothams easy, and yeah, it's still sad. Even though you can still activate his Brio effect and still protect him, so it still has its merits to book him, but yeah, it's not too strong. Normally, your book just protects you in the battle phase really, really well. Yeah, or like if your opponent tries to BTH, your Abellum. But yeah, these cards are important. Like Code Wave is most likely the strongest one of these, because it's really, really good with Hyunlei, because your opponent can't activate like Judgment, he can't activate Starlight Road and stuff like that. And you just pop 3 with 1 card, which is crazy. Yeah. Like Trunate is also good to get a level limit back yourself, or if you play like Swords of Revealing Light, which is also a good card to stall in this deck. I've also played it like really, really long, and other people also play it. Like, yeah, and there are like 3 different kinds to play X-Sabers, like Control, Turbo, and like stalling for a combo. Like these are the 3 most well-known playstyles of X-Sabers. So yeah. And every one of these plays like a little bit different lineup, but many have like still many cards which all of them play. So these are like the combo cards. You always want to have them in hand normally. You just have to think about when to use them. When next we have like cards that I personally really, really like going first. First off, like all of the recruiters, like Rats and Emma's Blades, you can just set them, for example, and yeah, like setting Emma's Blade is so cool, because when you still have like an X-Saber on the field, so for example, when your opponent also T-sets, you can just flip Emma's Blade, go Fulham Knight, then go Faultroll, then go Hyunlei, pop like the 1 back row, get back Fulham Knight, attack with Fulham Knight over the set 1. It's a Raikou, your Faultroll gets popped, but you get back your Emma's Blade when you attack with Emma's Blade and attack with Hyunlei, and then you can go into like Synchro Summon and like mill 1 card from loop 1 card from their hand, and they've lost like 1, 2, 3. 3 cards, and yeah, you have like your 3100 beat streak still on field, and like there are like some, you don't have to go for the Synchro Summon, for example, but there are like so many cool things that you can do in these situations, and yeah, like I really, really like to have Emma's Blade turn 1. Giant Rat is also good turn 1. If they run over it and they just have like Stratos or something like that, you can just get out Rescue Cat, and then maybe next turn pop off a Rescue Cat. So like, yeah, or you can just search for any X-Saber that you want in these kind of fields. So yeah, really, really good. I really love having like recruiters out there in the beginning. Then also for going first, I like these 2. Sengan obviously just searches you whatever would be good for the situation that your opponent puts you into, and it's really hard to play around Sengan. If they don't attack it, if it's set like you can just go for Synchro Summon and still search whatever you want. If they attack it, you see with what they attacked and look for an answer to that, and it's just really, really great. And you can also search like Monk, you can search Rescue Cat, and yeah. And the other thing is Raikou, because it's just Raikou. It destroys something, mills cards, fills up your graveyard, and just good. I normally like it more to have Raikou in deck so that it's not that big to, or like that hard to pull off Rescue Cat combos, but I'm still not mad if I have them like turn 1, like setting Raikou, setting MST is still pretty cool. So yeah, not bad at all. Then next up is Saberhole. Saberhole is really important because it does one thing really good. And that's stopping opponent summons without them thinking about it. So if I have Saber Hole and Emma Spade, for example, I will normal summon Emma Spade so that Saber Hole is live. Just set Saber Hole and then look what they want to do. If they go for Stratus or something else that brings them like something, I'll just hit Saber Hole. If not, I still have Emma Spade, which still gives me like a second X-Saber without any problem. And yeah, I can just wait for them to commit with a Caius and always have my X-Sabers protected against anything that is summoned. For example, even against JD, against Cyber Dragon and stuff like that. I've always gotten protection. Against Real Warrior, I'm protected. And yeah, I just love Saber Hole. It's like really good. And yeah, I love it to have in turn 1 so that I can answer as much stuff as possible. Sometimes it's sad if it gets hit like against MST, but when still you have like an X-Saber on field, like Emma Spade or something like that, that they first off have to address somehow, which is not too easy. Yeah. The next up is like everything that revives out of the graveyard. Having Call of the Haunted is always obviously cool because, yeah, if one of the X-Sabers gets for some reason destroyed, for example Smashing Ground on Emma's Blade, you can just bring it back. Like, easy peasy. Or if your Gartham gets run over a Rattle, you can still Call of the Haunted back. If your if something else gets brain controlled and synchroed away, you still have Call of the Haunted access to it, and yeah, maybe it can like activate your Faultroll pretty easily. And it also protects like, or not protects, but can bring back like your synchro summons that you've committed and stuff like that. So yeah, cool card. And last but not least, already spoken about is Gotham's Emergency Call. Gotham's Emergency Call is like, in regards to single cards, how much we can do, I think this is like the strongest one. It can set up your field. It can, like how I said, just destroy your battle phase, even your own or your opponent's. It can just extend your plays. It can start your plays. It's like so freaking cool. The sad part is you need to fill up your graveyard first. Why I like to set this, for example with Raikou or something, Raikou can maybe fill up my graveyard, but if I've got it already set, I need nothing else than an Emma Spade if my opponent has a monster in attack position that I can just crash my Emma Spade into, to just go for extremely crazy combos, like with 5 monsters on the field, just with having like one Emma Spade crash into something. Like, this is really strong, and so many people can't understand how much this can do. Like, yeah, so having this turn 1 and having like so many opportunities to use it makes it like really flexible, and it can almost help you out in any situation. So yeah, having this is great. Having this with a Recruiter is even better, or with a Raikou or something, and yeah, it's just a great card. So that's all the cards that I like to have like going first. All of these cards. I've explained why. And yeah, next up are like cards that I like to going second. And you have to know that these are also, like the Recruiters are also good going second, because you don't have to set them going first. You can just, if you go second, normal summon them and crash them into something that I've already said that's bigger than them, and just get out many cards for your graveyard and stuff. So yeah, these are also good for going second, and because they can lead like into anything that you want to have on board to address your opponent's board. For example, but I will talk about that later on when I go to the combo section. And next up is like your Beatstick, Galahad. If your opponent has like something that's really big and you need to get over, like some form of Blackwing, some form of elemental heroes that your other monsters can't get rid of, just normal summon this guy, hit, and see what happens. Sometimes that's good. Why I've put him here, like between those, and not like between those, it would be more like, and not completely on this, is because mostly I would like to have him left in my deck instead of just drawing him. But yeah, if you draw him, it's not the end of the world. He's still a strong beatstick. So yeah, but more I like to have him like in my deck. Then next up is Gartham. I like to have Gartham going second because what is it that most people do? Set monsters face down turn 1. And what happens? Like, face down monsters can be Snowman Eater, Vayus, Rykos, or Hamster, most of the time speaking, or like a Dandy or something like that. And no of his cards are like a really big deal to Gartham. If I hit a Ryko, he gets destroyed, and I search one of the cards that I need for my combo, for example, Faultroll or Garda Strike or Emma's Blade or something like that. And yeah, that's really great. If I had a Snowman Eater, he will pop it and I search something. If I hit a hamster, they get their Raikou out, but if they know how this works, they don't want to hit my Gartham with Raikou, so I'm still in a great position. Then maybe they need to tribute their hamster to banish my Gartham with a Kaios. Maybe I have Saber Hole set then, and yeah, it's just like really, really cool to have Gartham, and yeah, he's like really, really good for going second. Next up is like Fulham Knights and ways to get into Fulham Knight, which are also like your recruiters. Fulham Knight is cool because he also has no problem with Raikou, but he has some problems with Hamster, because even if you like to hit over Raikou and have him maybe to explain why it's good to hit him into Raikou, the effect of Raikou and effect of Fulham Knight work like in different steps of the damage step. I can't completely explain how in which damage step, sub-step, which effect activates, but Raikou is set to be destroyed before Fulham Knight gets destroyed. And because he doesn't need to check if Raikou is sent to the graveyard, he just needs to destroy. His effect will activate after the damage step, and Raikou's will still activate in the damage step, so Fulham Knight gets destroyed when Fulham Knight activates at the end of the damage step, so you can then target an X-Saber, which can be himself, and then just special summon him again, and then you can just attack with him again. Like, this is why he's really good against Raikou. The problem is, if you attack into a hamster, he has no protection if your opponent flips a Raikou. If he attacks into Snowman Eater, it's also bad. And yeah, like, it has problems, but it also is like really, 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 really good against Raikou. So I mostly like to have this going second, and also because it can just protect myself from battle phases, which is like from one battle in particular, which is like still really good. And yeah, I like to have Fulham Knight in my hand, but I even more like to have at least one Fulham Knight in my deck and recruit him with Emma's Blade, because then I know that my player will get through. And if I recruit him with Emma's Blade, I will already have like the graveyard set up for his second effect to revive something, which, yeah, something really, really nice. The next up would be Mind Control. It's always pretty good. If I have Raikou, you just get Raikou and pop something. If I have Hamster, you get it and set your own Raikou or Albellum, and it just can answer so many cards. Going second and having this card in your hand just makes your life that much easier. Yeah. Enemy Controller and Book of Moon are always good if you play them together with like Fulham, but not even having it with Fulham, just being able to address like some cards that are problematic is like really cool. Sometimes you can just leave it in your hand to wait for a Fulham play. Sometimes you can just set them if you are scared, for example, against, how's she called, Deep Sea Diver. Like, there are so many different cards that these cards can really address, and yeah, they're just great to have in your hand. More going second than going first, but yeah. And why it's also good to have them going second, because if you go second, your opponent was already able to set like traps, and then you can still like with enemy controller like play around bottomless, play around prison and stuff like that. That your monster at least doesn't get banished, because having Sabers banished is like always bad. Sometimes it's just like this is best like with Emma's Blade, because Emma's Blade will always lead into Fulham Knight, and Fulham Knight can just go into things. Some people will know that and just won't try to banish your Emma's Blade, even though this is technically better to have banished because then I can't recruit, but we will wait for my Fulham Knight so my board will be as weak as possible, because if I need to get my Fulham Knight into defense, or like my Fulham Knight, which is even worse, I can't use this effect to block an attack, and then he will just get sent to regrave and I have nothing. If my Emma Spade is get run over, I just get whatever I want. So having my Emma Spade booked is not as bad as having like my Fulham Knight booked. But it's still better than having them banished, obviously. The next up, cards that I don't want to have in any of my starting hands normally, because in most situations I just want to have them like a little bit later on in the grind game, so that I can really blow out as many resources as possible and just get stuff going. But with these two, it's important that my opponent doesn't set up like a starter string. Yeah, sure, then these are really bad, but you have other ways to play around Stardust. But I really like to have these two like later stages in the game, and this can protect you like until you wait to go in your combo. This can clear a board that your opponent tries to kill you with right now. Like, both of these are really good and really important, and I wouldn't like to miss them. And there's also like swords. Just like if you need to come back and you have nothing, and just top deck swords and your three turns completely safe, and just draw for 3 turns, maybe one Faultroll, then one Rescue Cat, and you are completely back into the game. But X-Sabers need like more than one card normally to really come back. So having like multiple turns to draw cards is like really crazy, and this is not the only card that can let you do that. Like, this is also the card to do it. I don't like to have them like on my start hand, because then they just sit there and do nothing for a while, because most likely I will just want to hit my opponent with cards and trade resources in the beginning, because every resource that goes into my graveyard is like also a resource for me, and just like wildly trade, get the spell traps done, and I just want to brawl as much as possible. I think like X-Sabers is like a brawler archetype. If you would like look at it like you would look at like fighting game characters, like I think X-Sabers are like pretty much how a brawler would work. Just like always hitting your opponent, trying to trade stuff, trying to trade health and stuff like that. In many X-Saber games, your life points would get lower, and your opponent's life points get lower, and you just trade life points until one moment one of you really gets his resources going and just wins the game. And X-Sabers can explode so hard, so just getting like a few rounds of nothing happening is almost always good for your X-Saber plays. And last but not least, brain control. Like, having like a really strong card that I need to address, that is like face up on the field. Mostly doesn't happen in turn 1 or turn 2, but like turn 3, 5, maybe sometimes 7, and then I need brain control, but not else. Like, I don't want to have this like in turn 1 or 3, like mostly turn 5 around. Okay, then last up are the cards that I don't want to have like in my hand normally, but occasionally they can be good. Like Galahad is the first one. Normally you want to bring him out if there's like some threat that you need to address right now, like some Blackwing that is really bad for you, like Shua or something like that, that you can't get over with else, like trading with Cyber Dragon or going into Elemental Heroes and stuff like that. This is the only dude that can do it from the X-Saber, so you want to normally get him out with Emma's Blade to address a threat, but if you have him in hand and your opponent doesn't have a threat, he's just like a mediocre beatstick that just gets beaten over by an Armageddon Knight because he loses 500 attack if he gets attacked. So having Galahad in hand is not like the best feeling, but it's not the worst either. Abellum. First off, Abellum in your hand, like just as a card itself, isn't too bad. Like, he can do stuff, he can control resources, like he is something that really does something for the X-Saber game plan at its whole, but why you don't want him to in your hand and why you play free is just because of Rescue Cat. He's not that strong, and it's even worse if you draw him, because then the chance that your Rescue Cat maybe gets like dead is like much higher, and you then sometimes in risk of not making your Rescue Cat dead, you try to go into Rescue Cat plays earlier than it would be recommended, just so that your Rescue Cat won't be dead. And yeah, then maybe you lose like 2 Abellums, which are hit by Bottomless because you had no counterplay, and you were not ready to go for the play, but you needed to go for it because you were scared of drawing like another Abellum, because you've already had like 1 in hand, and maybe you've already had like a Raikou set, and you're afraid that you mill maybe like 1 Abellum. It's also like one problem of Raikou. Hitting Cat or Monk or Abellum is like really bad. Hitting Faultroll is actually good. Having in graveyard is really nice, but hitting Abellum is not great. Yeah. But in itself, it can be a good card. Like, just having it in hand and doing stuff with that can be good, but it's way more beneficial to have like a cat and doing stuff with your cat, and not be scared to draw Abellums. Next up is Ragigura. He is like kind of working towards your game plan. You can recycle resources with him, which is nice. For example, you run out of all of your Emma's Blades, you play Ragigura, then you have like 1 more Emma's Blade, and maybe like a way to get into 1 more Fulham Knight with your 1 more Emma's Blade, and just get plays going again. But the bad thing is, it's like a 200 attack monster. You use life points if your opponent takes into it, like many life points, which is like not that like minimal as it's in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, because you will with your recruiters crash into much stuff, and losing like 2000 life points or something like that can be like really detrimental to your strategy. So in that regards, Ragigura is not good. But even worse is like that you lose 1 X-Saber after just playing it, and that works against your goal of having 2 X-Sabers on board when you need to protect it with something that you could maybe need like to combo with your Fulham Knight, like for example a book or something, or like you need one to play 1 power card just to be able to go into a line next turn and stuff like that, and that's worse for your grind game. And yeah, having this guy in hand like in the mid game is kinda okay. In the early game he's like a complete dead card because he does nothing. Sometimes I just set him to heaven in graveyard to have easier access to him after a while, but it's not great to have him in your hand. Like, let's just be honest. And last but not least, of the cards that you don't want to have in your hand, that's why I'm still not sure about playing him, but just informational. Garda Strike, he's like drawing him in the mid game when you've already have your graveyard set up. He can be good. He's just like still a Cyber Dragon, which is not too strong, but Cyber Dragon is strong. All of us know that. And just being able to address something with a 2100 beat stick is good. Yeah, but not as good as our cards, like, let's be honest. You want to search them with Gartham for like some combos which really raise like your scale. If you have like Emergency Call, you can go easy into level 8 lines and stuff like that, which is also great. Maybe even also get like back a Ragigura, which gets back a Faultroll, and when you also summon Faultroll, go into Stardust, and then you are protected from Battle Phase against Mirror Force and stuff like that, and maybe can push for a game that you else wouldn't be able to push through. And yeah, it's really cool to have this card for like some plays, but having him turn 1 is just so bad. Yeah, and sometimes it's just not enough to special summon 2100 beat 6. So you always have to keep in mind that this card could come up if you draw. And yeah, like, this is everything that I wanted to tell you about like the game plan of this deck. 1 hour is already gone. Maybe I'll cut here. If I cut, thanks for listening already. If I don't cut, then yeah, thank you for still hanging in. Right now we'll move to the combos, and I really have no clue how long this will take, but we'll see, I guess. So let me just look up what I've written down, because these are like 3 pages of combos. So first up, I just go with like Rescue Cat combos. For this we need Rescue Cat, and I need to somewhere in this line grab like these, and maybe we also need like Faultrolls, and later on I need Summoner Monk, but not right now. And yeah, then we also have nothing else right now, I think. Maybe I can also take out like Amos Blades, I guess. Yeah, then I can also take out like this for later. And the Ragigura, I can just take out all of these. Why not? I know which cards I use for the combo, so yeah, that's no problem. Okay, now I guess I'm prepared. Yeah. Okay, these are like all cards that can work with combos. So first up, just like the easiest play, like you don't even have to think about this play that I'm showing you right now, but I'll show it nonetheless. Like the easiest combo is just going into Rescue Cat, activating Rescue Cat, going into 2 Abellums, and then just poke with them. Like for example, if you play against rocks, this is already a good play. Like you can poke with both, they discard 2 cards from their hand, then both of these go into the graveyard. This is really great if you have like already an emergency call in your hand and just set it, and now you've prepared your emergency call for next turn, you've ripped 2 cards out of their hand, maybe you've hit like a heavy storm or something, so the chance that they also have like an MST in their hand is like really, really low. And yeah, this is cool. Like this is a small combo that can achieve many things. Like you go +1 more or less because they lose 2 cards, you just lose 1 card from your hand. Yeah, like you have already gained advantage in this regard. You filled up your graveyard, which is great for you. So yeah, easy combo, but still good. The other combo that we have is going into Rescue Cat, then going into 1 Abellum. Did I put him away? Okay, I forgot 1 card that is important for combos. Raikou. This is like also like one of the standard plays that you can do, that you won't do very often, but that can come up. Synchro both of them away. For Android or Cataster. Yeah, when do you want to go into which? If your opponent, for example, still has like nothing in hand, but you know what they are, nothing on the field, but you kind of know what they are playing, you can first off poke with him to just get 1 random hand card away from them, then synchro both of them away, and maybe then you want to go into Android to just have like a better resource game and be able to crash into different cards better because she has more attack points, or just go into Cataster because you know that, for example, he doesn't have that many dark monsters, and yeah, we'll have like many problems getting rid of this card, and then he maybe has to overextend and go into Lions, and already waste many resources for this card. And yeah, this is just typical Synchro 5 play. Nothing too special. So, next up is a first Faultroll combo. Yeah, we go into Rescue Cat again. Normal Sum Rescue Cat, and you always should activate Rescue Cat with Prio. So maybe to explain real quick what Prio means. You have turn player Prio. If you summon a monster, you are allowed to be the first player to activate an effect, and you can just activate Rescue Cat's effect, and only then after that your opponent can try to do something. So you activate Rescue Cat Prio, get out like 2 Abellums, and then because you control 2 X-Saber monsters, you can go into Faultroll. If, like, for example, you have something in defense position that you just can run over with Faultroll, just do that, run over, then they discard 2, and then you go into Synchro Summon 9 in your main phase 2, go into Gotoms, and they discard 1 more. So with just Rescue Cat and Faultroll, they've lost like 1 monster that you run over, they've lost like 2 hand cards with that, and they lost a 3rd hand card, and you have a 3100 beat tick on field. So you all again went like +2 with like your card advantage because you have one card on field. You use 2 cards, but they've lost 3 cards. And even like 1 on the field, so it's even more like +3, I guess. So that's like really, really strong. Yeah, just easy combo and nothing like too crazy, but still really, really effective and can almost already win you the game. Like just a simple combo like this. But this doesn't play around back row, like obviously, and yeah, you can do much stronger things. And next up would be if you have like graveyard setup. We just get out Emma's Blade, I guess. Let's say you just have Emma's Blade in graveyard. You can just go Rescue Cat again, 2 Abellums, special summon Faultroll out of your hand, activate Faultroll, get back Emma's Blade, and now you can push like for much more damage, or you can go, for example, first off before you go into battle phase because you're scared of the back row, you can go into Heal, pop 3, so that the back row is like not that problematic anymore to you. Then go into battle phase with Heal, go over by monster with Abellum, attack directly, they lose like 1 hand card. With Faultroll you attack directly, they get like 4000 damage in total, and then you can go with both of these into Gotoms if you want to, and that's already nice. You've looped like 1 card, you've got Gotoms already in on the field, so you can every turn revive something with Faultroll and just loop with it, and that's like really strong. But you have also got the opportunity to loop like 4 cards to just go into again these 2, special summon Faultroll, get back Emma's Blade, and then you can just like hit with him, like loop 2, then with those 2 you go into this, and then loop 2 more. Like 4 hand cards gone with just 2 cards that you have because you had 1 card in your graveyard. Really strong, I guess. Yeah, and you've still got Golems on the field. Like this is really strong. You can do much different stuff already with just having 1 Emma's Blade in your graveyard. Nice, right? So let's go into our next place. These are like the bread and butter only Rescue Cat combos, like mixed with Faultroll, obviously. The next thing is Summoner Monk combos. Remember, for Summoner Monk you always need like a spell card in hand. Just take this enemy controller of it. Like you summon Summoner Monk and you say activate effect of Summoner Monk. When your opponent can, for example, already like evacuate your monk, like with evacuation device, that's fine because now you didn't have to discard your spell. You can still use it in some other capacity or just use it next turn with Summoner Monk. What they want to do is you say activate effect, they do nothing. Now you activate, because we first activate just switches them in depth. When you say activate effect again, and now you discard it. If they activate it now, you've just lost this card maybe. And if they are able to negate it with like how is the card called? They don't want to give it back to your hand, to be honest. But they could negate it with like that permanent trap card. I forgot its name. But yeah. And if they negate it like that, that's really sad for you, to be honest, because you've just wasted 1 spell card and did nothing. But yeah. So first you say activate, and then you activate the second effect. You have to give your opponent at least a chance to fuck up. So then you get out Rescue Cat. From Rescue Cat you go into 2 Abellums again, like standard play. And after that you can, for example, if they have like not that much that is like problematic for you, could again attack with both Abellums, maybe go into Urbellum like Synchro 7 to have like emergency call already set up next turn. This is one thing that you can do, but like an easier, better thing, because most likely they will be having something that could be problematic for you. For example, you have T-Set, maybe a Raikou, maybe an MST or something, or maybe like even Mirror Force when you go into Synchro 7. go into, let's see, where Arcanite Magician. Arcanite Magician gets 2 counters, then you can use both counter to pop like the both T-set cards of your opponent, and then you can just loop for run. So they've lost 3 resources again. For you using 2 resources, you've just netted +1 again. You've got your graveyard set up again. You've got like 2 bricks out of your deck. Yeah, it's still a good play. That's like the play that was my go-to play when I was fresh with X-Sabers. But yeah, like today, I think that this is just a really resource-intensive play, and I only do it if there are like really, really important cards that I need to get out of, get away from my opponent, or if they're like, I really need to tempo up my plays. Or I have a Faultroll, for example, because then this plays even better. I just keep the Arcanite Magician here first, because if you have a Faultroll ready, we go for the same play again. We go for Summoner Monk, effect, get out the Rescue Cat, and Faultroll we have in hand, for example. Then we activate Rescue Cat, Brio again, get out 2 Abellums. When we can special summon Faultroll, go into Synchro 7 again, Arcanite Magician, activate Faultroll, or we can get back Abellum. Then we can go activate effect of Arcanite Magician 2 times, pop 2 cards again, and then we go for loop 2, go for 2400 damage if you want to. If you're afraid of Gauss, you don't have to. But most people will activate Gauss after like the first Abellum, then you can go off, over the other Gauss token. And let's just say both went through. We've looped 2 cards. Then we can go with Gothams again, activate Gothams, loop like the 3rd card, and we've just ended on Gothams and Arcanite Magician, looped 3 cards of them, destroyed 2 cards, so all again with 3 cards, so we netted +2 and got 2 monsters also on the field, which is like pretty huge, I would say. Like this can already be like a game-winning play in my humble opinion. And next would be if we have Emma's Blade in graveyard again, we can just go for like destroy 5 cards, which is really, really sick. So we have this in graveyard, this in hand, and these 2 in hand. So you can see that this is normally like a 3-card combo. Go for Summoner Monk, effect, get out Rescue Cat, Brio, 2 Abellums, Faultroll. This is everything that we've done before already. Then we can activate Faultroll Brio also, because we have something in graveyard. Get out Emma's Blade, and maybe now first off play around the back row. And just destroy the back row. Then we can play around, maybe set monsters. If for some turns where we're able to set like different monsters, we can just like destroy like 2 face down monsters, or if we have like a dupe block or something, we can just play around dupe block and stuff like that, just destroy 2 more monsters. So we have destroyed up to 5 cards right now, and then we can just still poke for 4700 damage. We didn't loop anything, but we destroyed 5 cards, which can also be like really, really valuable. And if we really want to loop and they don't have monsters and just back row, we can also go into Urbellum instead of going into Arcanite Magician, or keeping out 1 Abellum to poke, and just after that go into a Synchro Summon with Arcanite. So if they summon something next turn, we have like an answer with Arcanite. And yeah, we have so many different ways to play these lines. Yeah, but you see that this is just Summoner Monk and Rescue Cat. It will get like a little bit more complicated like in the next few minutes, because now we'll step into the Ragigura lines, and then we will start with like the infinite hand loops. So first off, I just want to show you what is like a standard play for like Ragigura. So first up, we have like something like Abellum, which doesn't bring anything for us. We have like Faultroll in hand, and we have 1 for 1. Like normally, if just this is our hand and we can't do anything else, we can still go for a play that is like decent, I guess. We can try to beat over things. Like we can try to maybe loop a card if we have full Hand Knight. We can try to revive something. Like, it doesn't matter. We can do like stuff. Then we activate 1 for 1. Discard. And like here's the graveyard. Then we get Ragigura out of our deck. Activate Ragigura. Get Abellum back to our hand. And even if this card doesn't mention that it targets in the graveyard, it still targets. It's just like old card text. It still targets, it wasn't just written in there. So you need to target Abellum and then you can just add them. So this can be DD crowed. When you normal summon Abellum, special summon out Faultroll because you can't control 2. And then you can either just go for Gothams and loop 1, but that's mostly not really worth it. But you could go into Armory Arm, then activate Faultroll, and either get out Abellum directly and try to loop a card, or for example full him, equip him with this so you can go over defense position monsters easier, or you go for Ragigura to get this back to your hand, which can be like set up for next turn. But that's just up to you. I would say I go for Abellum. When I equip Faultroll, for example, go over back row, burn them for a little bit of damage. Or if you have like a strong monster like a Stardust Ring, I just go over the Stardust Ring, lose like 3,400 damage. I go for Abellum, rip one card out of your hand. They just took like 5,000 damage, lost 2 cards, and yeah, maybe sometimes the 5,000 damage just is enough to outright kill them. Like just with 1 for 1, some kind of X-Saber monster and Faultroll. It doesn't need to be Abellum. Like, yeah, maybe with other X-Saber monsters it's like more or less damage, but yeah, we talk about small things there. Next, what you can do with 1 for 1 is if you have like, again, a tuner, Faultroll, and like something in your graveyard set up, you just talk about Emma's Blade again. So this is in your graveyard and this is in your hand. This will you search. You first off normal summon Abellum. Then you can go for 1 for 1. Again, discard Faultroll, Ragigura, get back Faultroll. Then special summon Faultroll. Then you can activate Faultroll to get Emma's Blade back. And now this is something that you know already. You can go into Heonlay, just pop 3, and then we have a pretty alright board, I would say. Yeah, this is something that you can do. Then another combo that you can do is like get Faultroll 1 for 1. Like just having these cards is crazy already. You can go for like Armory Arm plus loop 3, and maybe you have even game. You can go for Roast Dragon and recycle something back to your hand like an Abellum and stuff like that. Yeah, I just show you. The next combo is like going 1 for 1. Oh no, sorry. You can just go for 1 for 1, but you don't need to right now. First off, you can go like Rescue Cat, Brio, get out 2 Abellums again, and you can activate 1 for 1 again, like discarding this, getting back this, getting back this, special summon, and now you have like different plays that you can do. You can just, for example, first up, go into Armory Arm again, equip it to Faultroll, activate Faultroll, get back your Abellum, and then you can just first off do damage, then you can loop 2 again, and then you can go into your Gotham's play again, and maybe you don't want to have this like equipped, maybe you just want to go for extra damage, which I also did like one time. Sometimes this 1,800 damage can really go huge. Like for example with this, if your opponent plays frogs, then they take just like 4,000 like 5,600, 7,400 damage, so they are already out of brain control range, which is huge. They lose 2 hand cards. When you can go into Gothams, they lose 1 more. So you have Gothams, you have like Armory Arm, just equip Armory Arm to Gothams and have like a 4100 beat stick if for some reason you need that. If you don't want to have your Armory Arm destroyed, you can just do that, for example, but then it can be destroyed by MST, so yeah. This is like something that you can do. Yeah, just goes pretty hard. Then let me just look through. I don't know if I should show you like all combos. Maybe I'll just cut some out. But I wanted to have this like as detailed as possible, because it's important to know like when to go for which play and which are like your optimal routes. So I just show you as many routes as possible and just let you know in which situations to use them. That will also be something that comes with like experience and stuff. But yeah, first of all, I just want to show you like all of these lines. You can learn which ones you like the most, and then after you've mastered them, you can come back to this video and look at different lines again. So next would still be this one, and one discard for 1/1, and Faultroll without any graveyard setup. Again, we go for Rescue Cat, Brio, 2 Abellums. When we go for 1/1, no, we don't go for 1/1 right now. I have a discard, right? I go for Faultroll. Then I can just go for, let's see, Gothams already. Now I can go for 1/1, for example. Discard Summoner Monk, get back Ragigura. Ragigura, I get back Faultroll. Special summon Faultroll. Then I can activate first off Gothams. 1 hand card is gone. Activate Faultroll, get back this. With Ragigura, I can already prepare myself for next turn. Get back this. 2nd hand card gone. 3rd hand card gone. And then I'll just have like 1 Saber in hand. 3 of the hand cards are gone. And I have like 2 huge beat sticks on field. And 1 that is like a resource loop for me. And then I can like go every turn for special summon, get to hand, normal summon, discard 2. Like this I can do just like every turn, which is crazy. Yeah, if you can't address this with, for example, lightning, like lightning vortex, then I'll just win. And if I draw like an Emma's Blade after a while, then just having like Abellum special summoned, Emma's Blade normal summoned will be Hyundai and pop the back row because they set the back row to not be discarded. It's also still huge. Like after a while they just have like no cards to play anymore, while we have these 2 on field, and yeah, that's just really, really bad for them. Yeah, this is like most of the 1/1 combos which can like be realistically achieved, I think. The other ones that I want to show you are with even a little bit more setup. If we have Cat again and Faultroll again, and now we get into the graveyard setup. If we have like Ragigura and another Faultroll in graveyard, this is like pretty crazy. Do I need a discard? I don't think I need a discard. Right? No. No, I don't need a discard. Okay. So, right now, again, the same thing. Normal summon Cat. Get out 2 Abellums. Then I can just special summon Faultroll. Activate Faultroll. I think I don't even need 1/1 for it. No, I don't need 1/1. So it's just like a 2-card combo, but you only need Ragigura in the graveyard. Then I go for first effect of Ragigura. I get back this. I was already in graveyard. And I go with these 2 for Gothams. Because I control enough, I can special summon this, and now we are at the infinite loop territory. We activate Gothams, discard 1 hand card, activate Faultroll, get back Ragigura, activate Ragigura, get back Faultroll. Now we have Faultroll back in hand. Because we have enough X-Sabers, we can special summon him. Now we activate Gothams. Now the 2nd card is gone. Activate him again. The 3rd card is gone. Activate Faultroll, because this one was newly summoned and it's a soft once per turn with this effect. We get back Ragigura. When Ragigura activates, we get back Faultroll. Special summon Faultroll. 4th card is gone. 5th card is gone. And now we can just get out whatever we want. You can still get back out this synchro summon with both. Get out Armory Arm. Get back like an Arbellum and just have like easy game on your hand. And even if like something dies to a Raikou or something, you should still have game on your hand, to be just frank. So yeah, like these 4 are game, like these are game, like this, yeah, you don't need to think that hard about this. Like even the 4 worst monsters of this are like game. So yeah, this is like everything that you most likely will need to know about the hand loop. The hand loop just always works if you have like Faultroll and Ragigura in graveyard and somehow get out another Faultroll with access to a tuner. I just wanted to show with Rescue Cat because this is like a 1-card way to get out Faultroll. So maybe this combo, because it will come up very often, is like the most important to know. I just go through it again. So we just need these in graveyard. Maybe we've milled them with like Raikou or something, and we just need like these 2 in hand. Normal Summon Rescue Cat. Brio effect. Always called Brio. 2 Arbellums. Special Summon out Faultroll. Effect Faultroll. Get back Ragigura. Effect Ragigura. Get back Faultroll. Special Summon Faultroll. Then you can go into Gothams with the Faultroll that has already used its effect. Discard 1. Get back Ragi. Get back Faultroll. Special Faultroll. Tribute the one that already activated its effect. Discard 2. Discard 3. Get back this. Get back this. Discard 4. Discard 5. Get back this. Get back this. Special summon this. And then you can do whatever you want. Yeah. That's the most important part. If you've got like 6 cards out of your hand, it's like completely irrelevant what you do right now with, like, for example, this board. I don't think you will lose against 1 card. Maybe they get like Mirror Force, but then still you can just switch like this here to defense position, and then you will have like all of this board almost again. So yeah, because even if I hit you with Mirror Force like next turn, you can just and you draw nothing, and the 5 cards that you still have left are like nothing. You just get back Ragigura with him, get back Faultroll with him, special summon Faultroll, and now you have like 4 monsters back again, and like their Mirror Force is gone already. And then they have like no other card that can stop you. So yeah, this is crazy. Okay, that's like, I think, the most important combo that you do know right now. How long have we been at it already? Okay, we said like 1 hour. I think we can go a little bit longer. Maybe I can show you like the last few 1-for-1 and Ragigura combos, and after that maybe we can just make a little cut and try to, yeah, maybe next time I'll just go for the Gotham's emergency call combos and stuff like that, because I've got, I don't know, the Emma's Blade combos are one where I've got like 10 or something, 10 different or like 12 different ones. This is crazy. Yeah. But okay, first off, the last few Ragigura combos. This was right now with Ragigura and Faultroll in graveyard. You can also do this different. If you have like, for example, 2 Faultrolls in graveyard, we've got Cat, and we've got 1-for-1 with any discard again. So this is our graveyard. We normal summon Brio. Get out 2 Arbellums. 1-for-1. Discard. Get out Ragigura. Effect Ragigura. Faultroll. Special summon Faultroll. Then we can do like, oh no, effect Faultroll, no. We could go for like Armory Arm, which we all should do, because I think in the last video I've told you about that sometimes we need Ragigura in graveyard, and this is like one of the times where we really need him in the graveyard, because else it can be a little bit tricky to do this stuff when you need like other cards in play already. So we go into Armory Arm right now. When we activate Faultroll again, we get back our Faultroll, special summon Faultroll, and now we can go to the infinite loop territory again. So we needed Ragigura and Graveyard to grab our second Faultroll. And if we have like the other Faultroll in hand, we don't actually need to go for the Armory Arm, but yeah, like this, it's way simpler to do all of this. Then you can just go for the infinite loop again, like tribute this, get it back, get this back, tribute those to 3 cards, get this back, and then 5 cards, and yeah. OTK. Like, this is, yeah, like, silly. But yeah, this is like how you can, even with 2 Faultrolls in graveyard, and just a discard 1/1 and Cat, go ham. Like, the problem is, 1/1 is the really strong combo card that you see like the least amounts of time because it's just not searchable. You need to hard draw it, and if you hard draw it, it can go like really hard, but different than Rescue Cat, it's not searchable. So yeah, this doesn't happen too many times. But for example, this combo you could also do if you still have your normal summon Ragigura in hand. For example, you have searched last turn while it was attacked your Rescue Cat with a rat. When you have Rescue Cat already on the field, begin your turn, then normal summon Ragigura to get Faultroll back, activate Rescue Cat and stuff. And yeah, then you can still go for the same combo, but it's important that you know that this, you only need the 1/1 to just do like the normal sum and the special sum. If you've already got out for your Rescue Cat with your special sum, it's no big deal at all. You still have like your normal sum left. Okay, so next up is if we have Amos Blade in graveyard again, and we just go for Faultroll, Cat, discard and 1/1. So maybe also that you know, the discard is not like a 3.5 card combo. It's like 3 and a 7.5 card combo, more or less, because you just don't need any card. You need like a monster card, and we play like many monster cards, but we also play many non-monster cards, and we already used like 2 of our monster cards right here. So you need like 1 monster card that you can just throw away. Maybe it's, let's just say it's the Amos Blade, for example. Then you don't even need Amos Blade in your graveyard, I think, but yeah. But it's just, oh, I think you need it in your graveyard, but yeah. It doesn't matter. So, first off, you just go for Cat again, activate Brio, get out 2 Abelons. Then, after that, we go for Faultroll. Then we can activate Faultroll, get out Amos. And then right now we can go into a different line that I want to show you. Our good old Paul Brionek. Now I'll show you how the other infinite loop will work. So now we have activated Faultroll already. We synchro those 2 away for again our Gothams. Then we activate 1/1, discard, get back Ragigura. Then we get back Faultroll, we activate Gothams, rip 1 card out of their hand, activate Faultroll, get Ragigura back. Now we just need something in hand. We activate Brio. We get our Faultroll back to hand, special summon Faultroll. And now we just keep on going like this. Tribute, effect, 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 tribute, and just keep on going like this. After that, you can even go and try to bounce their cards back. For example, if we do it like this, then we bounce one of their cards, then we can again discard, and then we can, if we have like more hand cards, get our Faultroll back, and yeah, just keep all of, like when we go like one card of our hand for one card on the field, just bounce them back and discard them with Gothams. And yeah, that's strong. It's actually like really, really strong. And you can do this like in so many different ways, and I will show you like many different ways to do this Brio loop, but this is also really, really important to master. So I'll just go over that again. I can just leave a Brio here, leave a Gothams here. Okay, I'll just go over this combo again because you really, really need to have that in mind. So I need this card and this. So you see, we need much setup for this combo, but this can be like any monster again. But it's important that you see these hands, see these setups, and just act accordingly. If you have a chance to go for like a hand loop, then like an infinite hand loop, you should go for it because it wins you the game, more or less. Rescue Cat. Get out. 2 Abaddons. So far so good. Get out Faultroll. Activate this to get the Emma Spade out of your graveyard that was already in your graveyard and you didn't just put in there in this moment. Get out Brio. Get into Gothams. Now you need the discard for your 1/1 to get out your Ragigura. Ragigura, get Faultroll to your hand. Because you control 2 X-Saber, you can special summon him. Now you tribute this for the first hand card of your opponent. And you activate Faultroll again to get this bad boy back. Then you get another X-Saber back to your hand. And now comes the interesting part. With Brio, you can loop your own monsters back to your hand, get him back, special summon him again, activate him again, and just keep on going. So, now we've run through this combo like 2 times. Maybe try to do it yourself like on Dueling Book, but this is like really, really important to master. I can't stretch this enough. You should master this combo because it just gives you so much more access to like strong plays that you maybe before didn't even know exist, and now you've got like a completely different way of seeing your hands, and you should do this combo as often as possible when you are able to do it, just to know when you have like enough X-Sabers in play, when your Bryonic will just be like kinda dead for this combo and stuff like that, and you will have like an eye for that after a while, and just learn when it works and when it doesn't work. Okay, so next up there will be like okay, Monk plus Faultroll. You have 1/1 Faultroll and Monk, and like a discard for Monk, like any spell. This is like also a strong combo, but yeah, I think there are stronger ones, but I should still show you. Normal summon, effect, get out this, and we get our Rescue Cat. Effect Rescue Cat, Brio. Get out 2 Abaddons. Then we get out with 1/1 our Ragigura. Get back Faultroll. Special summon Faultroll. Then we can go into... Oh, maybe I wouldn't even special summon Faultroll right now. It's even better to first off go into Arcanite Magician. Where is he? Where? Then you can just activate Arcanite Magician, for example, to pop 2 back rows. If they did wait for the Faultroll to activate something like, for example, Judgment right now, then yeah, they've just lost because we destroy the Judgment and something else. And then we can go into Faultroll because we still control 2 X-Saber. Activate his effect, for example, to get back this. And right now you have like some different plays that you could do. You could either try to go for looping 2 and going into Gothams and looping 2 again. Then you've looped 2 and destroyed 2, which is really, really strong. But a loop 4 and destroyed 2, which is really strong. But I would either rather go for some. You could also go for something else where you loop like 5 cards and maybe even stack one more. For example, we are playing against frogs. This is where the other line that you can do with this specific hand comes in handy. So Normal Summoner Monk. Effect. Rescue Cat. Effect. Brio. 2 Abellums. 1 for 1. Get back Faultroll. Special summon Faultroll. Okay. Now we have like a hand that looks really similar, a field that looks really similar, but we'll go for something else. We are just thinking about that they have like nothing on the field right now, and we just want to go as ham as possible. Get out Urbellum. Activate Faultroll. Get back Airbellum. And now we can just either try to finish the game, just see if this is an attack. Like, I think, yeah, we just have game. It's like 4,000. It's just 8,000 damage. If they have like nothing to beat right now. If we have like a monster in attack position and no back row, we can still deal like so much damage. And also, Urbellum is like the X-Saber that also activates if there's like no other if he's not like attacking directly. He just needs to inflict battle damage. So if you attack with Urbellum and inflict battle damage and your opponent has like 6 cards or something in hand, they need to put 1 card back to the top of the deck. They have 5 left. When we attack with Urbellum, loop 1, loop 2, attack with these 2 for damage, main phase 2, go for Gothams, and then we can just loop like 3 more. So we've looped 5 cards and stacked 1 card on top of the deck. And that was a card that they didn't set for some reason next turn. So they also don't want to set it for this turn. So they've lost like everything, every potential to make a comeback. They have like nothing in their hand anymore. And we have Gothams here. And we have like 2 more hand cards with which we can play. And they have like nothing and just draw into a card that they already had in hand last turn. So yeah, this is a strong strong turn that you can do, but only if like they have no back row that you can play into. If they have back row, you would rather go for Arcanate Magician. But if you're protected against it, for example, then you played like Trunade, that's even better. That's like also a way how they have like no back row. Then maybe you don't want to go into Arcanate Magician, but you want to go into Abellum again. So you just have to keep this in mind. This whole line makes much more sense if you play Trunade. Okay, so next up is like how with this line you can also go into like a Colossal OTK line. Let's just say they have, I don't know, how is he called again? Fortress. They just have Fortress there. And we have like this here, this, and this. Now we've won. If we have like no back row that, let's say we have Trunade again and activate Trunade. Or we have like, I don't know, MST against like one of a back row, Heavy Storm or something, but we have no back row that bothers us right now. We've just won the game because we can go for Summoner Monk effect, go into Rescue Cat, Brio, go into 2 Airbellums, go into 1 for 1, discard, Ragi, get back Faultroll, and special summon Faultroll. Okay, same line as before. But now, we have something completely different that we are doing. You see, we have level 4, level 3, and level 1. With these 3, we can also go into Colossal. Then we can activate Faultroll to get back Ragigura, effect Ragigura to get back Abellum to hand, and then we can go into Armory Arm. Don't forget, they still have like something. Okay, Fortress was like a bad example. We would lose our Abellum right now or something else that we have in hand, but they will lose the game, so we don't care. When you activate this, equip this to like their monster, and maybe we lose like our Bellum, and then you just attack with Colossal. You take like, if it's a fortress, like 700 damage. He gets destroyed, his effect activates, chaining 1, chaining 2, armory arm activates, so they get burned for like 2800 damage, and we just lost 700, so you see he gets revived by his own effect, and we just keep doing that. So attack, destroy, he gets 2800, attack, destroy, he gets 2800, and you just loop this and win the game with this. So yeah, that's the Colossal Fighter OTK that you can just do with the cards that I've explained. Okay, next up, oh, okay, that's also a good one. We have like, but this is like a full card combo, so yeah. You have like Monk again, you have this, you have this, then, I don't know, we also need this, and you have like this here to discard. Let's just say, this is even better, like a Raikou to discard. Like, this are like 5 cards in hand, but this is something that can loop 5 cards without a battle phase and ends with 1 Saber monster in your hand. Or you could like destroy 2 and loop 6, but this will also like a little bit of play into the battle phase with Abellums and stuff. But I think more impressive is like looping 5 cards without any battle phase to occur. Okay, first off, effect. Get out Rescue Cat. Effect Rescue Cat. Brio. Get out these 2. Now we won't activate 1/1 right now. Special summon. Faultroll. And we go into level 7. Ubellum. We can activate Faultroll to get back Abellum. Then we can... Oh, no, sorry. Then we can go into Synchronian. You don't want to activate 1/1 yet. When you go into Gothams. Then you can go into 1/1. Discard. Ragigura, effect Ragigura, get Faultroll back. Then you can just special summon Faultroll. And now you can see how you are able to loop 5. You loop 1 by discarding, loop 2, loop 3, effect, get back, loop 4, loop 5, and when you are still left with Gothams, you can also loop the 6th card and just play with 2 cards that you have in hand. So yeah, not bad, I would say. And this is without any battle phase. And yeah, if you are, for example, scared of any hand traps that your opponent might have, no, he doesn't have any hand traps. So yeah, that's like really, really strong. And the other thing that you can do is like just go into Arcanite Magician instead of Orbellum and just like destroy 2 cards they control, and then go with Abellums in the face, and then just go for the same line, going into Gothams and loop 6 cards with the Abellum loops instead of just 5, or like 7 cards if you want to go with Gothams also, but yeah, I don't think you need to do that. But yeah, this is like most of the 1/1 and Ragigura combos that just use the cards that I've already explained. In the next combos, like most of the cards that I've already explained, like Monk, Cat, 1/1, will also all appear. This is why this video will take like so long in the future to do, because everything that I've shown you right now, I will also in some kind of capacity, but in other constellations also show you later on, but with like much more complex circumstances, because more cards are involved and even like more lines and ways that lead into different combos, and like completely different combos sometimes, but sometimes also the combos that you've already seen, like Brio Loop will appear like 9 different times from now on. But I think like the most important stuff you've already seen. You've seen like the the OTK with Colossal Fighter. You've seen like the infinite loop with just X-Sabers. You have seen like the infinite loop with like Brio. You've seen like how Summoner Monk works and can destroy cards. You've seen like Heal Lake can be incorporated into place. And on all of this, I will even go deeper in like the next video if you guys want to have this as the next video. If you want to have like something completely else, like you want me to explain like different cards that other people use like in the X-Saber strategies, what cards can be used still and what cards I don't main deck for certain reasons, why other people maybe don't main deck certain cards, why other people would main deck certain cards. I can go into depth on these regards because I've also listened to many other players and listened to their reasons and opinions on specific things. So I have a good insight into many different reasonings. And yeah, if you want to see how Gotham's Emergency Call is used, how Emma's Blade is used and stuff like that, I would explain that in the next video. So just say me what you want. I will try to deliver as good as possible. So thank you for listening for, oh god, like 1 hour and 40 again. And I hope to see you all next time again. So thank you very much.